Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the
Happy Thursday, television family. We have started another day together. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life channel. It's Thursday, 9th day of November, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's kind of chilly out there, 34 degrees. It's going to be about 10 degrees cooler today for our afternoon high than it was yesterday, but it's going to be pretty quiet and pretty benign. But heads up for you folks driving into the mountain passes, especially Stevens. Snow tonight into Friday, and then snow Friday night into Saturday for Veterans Day. And they've also changed the forecast a little bit for Saturday for Veterans Day proper. It's going to be a little stormy and a little windy, and we may have a few raindrops on the Veterans Day parade. Those forecast details take priority. That's why we do it first. Also the news and sports. All the high school playoff results from last night. The Wild won again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row for the Wenatchee Wild. We'd like that. We'll have that in sports. It is Thursday. Pause for pets. Katrina the dog needs a permanent home. You'll get to know her from our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. If you missed my interview with the Stage kids and adults from yesterday, and if you did, what's the matter with you? One more chance to get to know Brooklyn and Hunter and two of the adults who are helping the production of Andy Jr., which opens tonight at the Numerica Pack. Talking about Lana Bromley, who's the director, and Grace Dory, who is the stage manager. We'll give the folks at Stage Kids Washington one more blast of love today because they do good work, and it's going to be an entertaining show. Andy Jr. again. It opens tonight at the Numerica Pack. 2 minutes after the hour. Let's go. We'll start out with our cameras around the valley and, of course, the Wenatchee Heights camera when it is available to us, which is pretty much all the time. Always begins our festivities. Of course, sometimes it's completely fogged over and clouded over, and we don't really use it at all. What's the point there? But it's not looking too bad. Again, you can see the clouds are there. What do you see right now is pretty much what we're going to have all day today. If anything, the clouds are going to thicken up a little bit. And then we're going to have a little bit of rain tonight. We dry out Friday, rain again Friday night, into Veterans Day morning, and then very windy, by the way, on Saturday for Veterans Day, especially in the afternoon. Again, those details are on the way. We hit 55 yesterday, not going to get anywhere near that today. Sunrise this morning, 6:56, about 6 minutes ago. Sunset tonight, or late this afternoon if you prefer, 4:32. That's 9 hours and 36 minutes of daylight. Let's head on up to Billy Goat. That's cool, like being in an airplane. Down there below the cloud deck is, well, Pateros, Brewster, Bridgeport, the Columbia River, the Methow River. You know this view. We use it all the time. But they got some serious. Now, those clouds are low hanging, but you got to remember this camera that we're looking at is about 4,400 feet above sea level. It's up there a ways, so it might be not quite as ominous as it looks, but that's pretty much what those folks are going to be dealing with most of the day today. The Lake Wenatchee camera looks pretty cool. Check that out. Look at the low clouds and fog. Of course, that happens when the temperature of the water and the temperature of the air immediately above the water, there's a big variation. That's how the fog forms, and it ain't going to burn off a great deal up in the Lake Wenatchee area. You're going to be dealing with that pretty much all day, too. Lake Wenatchee is also down there, so is Fish Lake and Kaler Glen. And finally to McNeil Canyon. Let's see what Lake Chelan looks like. Well, there you go. Lots of clouds. It looks like we have that baby zoomed out about as far as possible. That may be our tallest tower. That's a very tall tower. It's like 250 feet at the very tip top of McNeil Canyon. That allows us to peek over the ridge there into Lake Chelan on this Thursday morning. Did I mention it's going to be very windy on Veterans Day? It's going to be very windy on Veterans Day. These are your peak wind gusts, not the sustained winds, but the peak gusts. And as you can see, close to 40 miles an hour for the Wenatchee Valley. Everybody's going to be dealing with some significant wind on Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon. The wind's really not going to pick up in intensity until about 1 or 2 on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully that'll keep people safe. We don't want a windy Veterans Day parade, but we may have a wet Veterans Day parade. Anyway, heads up, quite windy for you folks all over the viewing area on Saturday. From the National Weather Service, after a high of 55 yesterday, only 44 today. It is a cooler start to the day, so it's going to take us a while to get there. Lots of clouds, and that's pretty much what we're dealing with. But no rain in the forecast until we get to tonight. Then we have a chance of rain tonight. The clouds will be hanging around, about a 60% chance of overnight rain. Not a lot of rain, but there's a chance out there. 35 for the overnight low. We do it all over again on Friday, maybe a little bit warmer, but Friday is just like today, with dry conditions for most of the day, and then another chance of rain Friday night. Now tonight into Friday, and Friday night into Saturday, there will be some snow on Stevens Pass. Stevens could get about 5 to 6 inches of snow total. Wanted to remind you of that. And then on Veterans Day, rain until about 10 a.m. or so. The parade begins at about 10:30-ish, give or take a couple. So we could have a little bit of light rain on the morning of the Veterans Day, but then the sun will come out, but the wind will be picking up rather intensely. We'll have a west wind in the afternoon of about 25 miles an hour here for the Wenatchee Valley. And on Saturday, Veterans Day, will top off at about 50, give or take a couple. Pretty calm on Sunday, mostly cloudy and a high of 50, and then a lingering chance of rain, about a 20 to 30% chance of rain off and on Sunday night, right through Wednesday. Don't look for a lot of sunshine, kids, except for Saturday. Saturday afternoon, we'll have to trade off the sunshine with the wind. That's the forecast. Up next in the agenda of the news, you're watching a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
It's the music that revolutionized the sound of Christmas. Mannheim Steamroller Christmas by Chip Davis. Celebrating the holiday spirit for over 35 years. Don't miss this holiday extravaganza. Mannheim Steamroller Christmas by Chip Davis. America's favorite Christmas tradition.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Lots of clouds, 34 degrees. Lots of clouds all day today. Overnight rain tonight. Overnight rain Friday into Saturday. Lots of sunshine, but lots of wind for Veterans Day, especially in the afternoon. It's 8 minutes after the hour. Douglas County Superior Court has set a date now for the sentencing of Dalton Scott Potter, and he will be sentenced on Thursday, December 14th. As you know by now, the 28-year-old Potter swiftly convicted by a jury on October 30th in the killing of Alyssa and Longwell, gunned down on Badger Mountain Road last January. Longwell was Potter's former partner, and then, of course, after the homicide, he fired shots at witnesses in a car nearby. Then he fled. He was caught. After his 6-day trial, he was convicted of first-degree murder, assault, witness intimidation, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Potter did not testify in his own defense. He could face a term of up to life in prison. Douglas County Prosecutor Gordon Edgar says he will be consulting with Longwell's family to compose a sentencing recommendation to the judge. A lot of Douglas County voters still think that they live and vote in the 12th District. Well, with the exception of the folks in East Wenatchee, that's not true. In East Wenatchee, you're still in the 12th District, but the rest of Douglas County is now in the 7th Legislative District. That's where Republican Jacqueline Maycumber is one of 2 representatives in the House from the 7th District. She stopped by our studios yesterday to introduce herself to her new constituents.
Your territory is vast.
It is.
It is quite large. Okanagan County, the Colville Reservation, Pend Oreille County, part of Grant County. Can you tell me about the part that you live in?
I live in Ferry County. I grew up there. We have quite a few generations. We live on the family ranch, which is over 100 years old in production. And it's an amazing place to grow up and raise your children.
What's it been like to venture to this portion of the new district and introduce yourself to your new constituency?
Well, it's nice because I think we hold the same cultural and values. Eastern Washington really understands what it means to work hard for your dollar. You know, the farming and the ranching, using that natural resource to, you know, have those long generational lives and then support that in a way. So it's really important that we try to keep our children here and make sure we educate them and they feel good about innovation as we move forward. So it's been amazing. I'm really happy to represent the new district.
When you talk to people here in wheat country, do you find that the concerns are the same as they are in ranch country?
Very similar, very similar. You know, we want to make sure that there's less restrictions and we have the ability to bring our product to market and have a fair shake in that conversation and making sure that we are still producing that next generation.
Well, you were elected in 2017 and you are now the Republican floor leader in the House. That's a pretty fast climb. So was it a challenge to learn the ropes, or how did you have to apply yourself in order to, you know, win that trust in your party?
Well, I think it's always being honest. Your word is your bond in politics. What you say, you have to do. And making sure that you move forward and represent your constituency no matter what. That's the most important thing when you go to Olympia. And then having that trust and that honor with your caucus to be able to have that communication back and forth across the aisle. That's the most important thing when you talk about being a leader in Olympia, is having that communication and having trust and integrity.
And the responsibilities of floor leader, explain those for us.
Well, when you go to the floor, you're battling bills and you're having conversations and you're really talking about what's important for the constituency in your district and how the policy affects it. So the most important thing that we do is we make sure that we are allowed that conversation. So whether you're in downtown Seattle or Ferry County, we want to know what that bill does for your constituency. And so open communication and the civility of conversation in government, that's what made this country great. And that is what's continuing to make the state great, as long as we continue those doors to be open and the communication to stay open.
As of last month, the NCW Economic Development District now includes Chelan, Douglas, and Okanagan counties in the Rural Opportunities Fund. The NCWEDD, they're a nonprofit and they're responsible for supporting economic growth across the region. The new inclusion of these local counties comes from a partnership with the Tri-County Economic Development District. And that organization, which delivers both state and federal funds, specializes in loans for business startups and expansion and seeks recipients who are ineligible for traditional loans. Local business owners who are interested in applying for a loan. Loans go anywhere from $5,000 to $250,000. You can do so by emailing the Economic Development District. Special reception is going to be held before next week's Wenatchee School Board meeting to honor outgoing board member Laura Jakes. She served on the board for 2 decades, 20 years. Of course, she announced back in April she would not seek re-election. The reception will be held from 5:30 to 6 o'clock next Tuesday, the 14th. That's ahead of the regular board meeting at the district's office. It's open to the public. Light refreshments will be served. The new board members, by the way, will be sworn in the following regular meeting, which is on November 28th. And just a quick heads up, of course, Saturday is Veterans Day, and the Veterans Day Parade, once again, comes to downtown Wenatchee, hosted by the American Legion Post number 10. It's the traditional route. It'll start Saturday at about 10:45 at Wells Fargo Bank. It'll head south on Chelan Avenue. It'll stop at Memorial Park at about 11:11 for a gun salute ceremony. Then they go down Orondo and left and head on back north on Mission Street, and then it concludes again at the Wells Fargo parking lot. A motorbike pre-parade will begin about 10:30 in the morning. Participants in the regular parade, you want to be at the Wells Fargo parking lot no later than 10:30 as well. And of course, there'll be festivities at the Pybus Public Market after that. That's the news. At 14 minutes after the hour, if you want to be informed about what the heck is going on around the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington, we try to help you with that with the news. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCW Life Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. If that doesn't work for you, it'll be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com. You can watch it on our YouTube page. You can also watch it on our Facebook page. And if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, you get a hold of us. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. The Wenatchee Wild are smoking hot. No problems last night up in Saskatchewan. Highlights are next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Crown Furniture knows the most important part of a healthy and productive lifestyle is good quality sleep. The Englander Mattress Company is dedicated to manufacturing the best mattresses made in the USA. Englander chooses the finest materials made in the USA with a drive, dedication, and attention to detail, earning them a 99% satisfaction rating. Stop by Crown Furniture today on South Wenatchee Avenue and save up to 35% on select Englander mattresses. 16 minutes after the hour, the hottest team in the Western Hockey League plays right here. Well, they didn't last night. The Wenatchee Wild at Swift Current easily rolls over the Broncos. The final there was 5-1. That is the 8th win in a row for the Wild. It came on the front end of a 3-game road trip against the Broncos last night. Connor Geeky's 9th goal of the season got the offense going for the Wild midway through the first period, and they cruised from there. Here are your highlights.
Blue line for Kenta Isogai, now a partial 2-on-1. Briley Wood in front, they score. Connor Geeky on the partial 2-on-1. Reed Dick got caught a little bit high. Go blue line for Kenta Isogai, now a partial 2-on-1. Briley Wood in front, they score. Couldn't quite corral it though, and then Ward lays a huge check on Jonas Wu, and then another one as well. Have a shift Matthew Ward, and then a one-timer. They score back the other way. It's Ty Fraser, 2-0 Wild. Bouncing puck through the crease there and through the slot for a moment. Copeland couldn't quite knock it out of the zone, and then turning and firing. Point, he fanned on the pass, now back the other way. Here's Friesen, has a step on a partial break, he scores. Evan Friesen makes it 3-0, 8:38 to go in the third, and rink wide, he was looking for Isogai, and it's into Bronco territory. They're going to wave off the icing in front. Wood, they score. And the Broncos thought it was icing. Pushed ahead, here's Brady Burney trying to step on Bambrick. Burney to LaVenture, he scores! Tyson LaVenture breaks the shutout, and the Broncos now down 4-1. Just out of the zone to the near side and having to hustle to it is McCleary. Friesen scores.
Love those empty netters, especially when they're your team. Who scored for the Wild? Well, Connor Geeky and Ty Fraser and Evan Friesen and Briley Wood. Daniel Hauser stopped 21 of 22 shots on goal for the night. The Wild continue their road trip. They're going to be at Lethbridge Friday and the Medicine Hat on Saturday. Both games at 5 o'clock. You can listen to it on 560 KPQ with our buddy Austin Trade. Short stay for the big schools in the state 4A girls soccer tournament. Eastmont fell at Gonzaga Prep last night 2-0. Wenatchee season came to an end in Bothell. Panthers losing to Woodinville 6-1. It was a better result for Kashmir. In the state 1A soccer tournament, the Bulldogs won in a shootout over Natchez Valley 1-0. They advanced to the quarterfinals. They will host La Center at the quarterfinals Saturday at 1 o'clock at Vale Elementary School. We already know Okanagan was advancing in the state 1B, 2B soccer tournament. What we didn't know is who they're going to play. And it ain't going to be Tenasket. On Alaska advanced last night with a 32 win over the Tigers at Leap-Off the Field to the Apple Bowl. Okanagan will be at Kalama in the quarterfinals Saturday at 12:30. Manson has a chance to repeat as the state 2B volleyball champions. The Trojans beating Kalama in straight sets in their opening round match yesterday in Yakima. At the same time, Okanagan took down Napavine to advance, and the Bulldogs and the Trojans played last night in the quarterfinal, and it was a boondoggle. Look at that score. 25-18, 25-18, 22-25, 25-15, and so Manson moves on. Okanagan plays Tootle Lake in a consolation bracket game this morning at 8 o'clock. Manson will take on Colfax in the semifinals at 10 this morning, and a win puts the Trojans in the championship match this afternoon at 5 o'clock. All right, Soap Lake. They won their play-in game yesterday morning in the State 1B tournament. Then they lost to Mossy Rock in 3 sets, and they eventually fell to Antioch, so their season comes to an end. Speaking of the Tigers, they fell to Northport in the morning round. Then they turned around to beat the Eagles to stay alive. And Waterville-Mansfield earned a trip to the quarterfinals with a 3-set sweep of St. John Endicott Sprague, England Dan, and John Ford Coley. That was in the morning, and they lost to Nia Bay in the quarterfinals last night. Antioch has an 8 a.m. game today against St. John Endicott Sprague, Simon and Garfunkel. That's to stay alive and get a trophy. Waterville-Mansfield will play Northport in the consolation bracket at 10 o'clock. And the weekend's almost here, so one little reminder of the local teams playing football. Ephrata's first-round game in the state 2A tournament. They're at 1 o'clock Saturday at North Kitsap. Othello will play at the same time at Enumclaw. Cashmere will host Toppenish in the first round of the state 1A tournament. That's tomorrow night at 6. Okanagan will be at Omak, will be at La Center. That's also tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Brewster has an early kickoff tomorrow, 1 o'clock at Grandview. Remember, there's no school tomorrow, so that's the first round of the state 2B tournament. Okanagan awaits the winner of Brewster and Goldendale in the quarterfinals next Friday or Saturday. Elmira Cooley Heartline begins their quest for a 6th state championship Saturday. They'll be in Moses Lake at Lions Field taking on Concrete. Libertyville awaits the winner between Darrington and Welpinit next Friday or Saturday. Seahawks are trying to rebound from a terrible game in Baltimore this weekend. They're at home against the Commanders. Seahawks are now 5-3 on the season, 37-3 shellacking. Coach Pete Carroll says he's turned to his veterans to help the Seahawks bounce back.
It's the leadership's attitude, the guys that you're really counting on to send the message, because the younger guys are watching those guys, and how do they respond, and how hard do they push, and are they focused, and can they turn the page? The younger guys are, we have a very young team, and we count a lot on our leadership to send the right message, and with Gino and Bobby and those guys Diggsy and those guys that do that for us, it's incumbent upon them to really live it right. So they've come out of the chutes looking good. Meetings were good today. Everything about it was uplifting. So there's so much football ahead of us. This is officially marking the halfway point, right? Once we get past this game, somewhere in the middle of the week here, it's really the halfway point. But we're officially turned the corner here. Game 9 for us and week 10. So this is a huge opportunity for us to recapture the mentality, make sure that we're on, and we play a great game at home.
Veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner says his message to his teammates is do all the little things that you can do to improve from one week to the next.
Change is just like focusing on the little things. Sometimes, when you win or you're having some success, the details of the game might get away from you, and the winning might disguise that. So sometimes, having a loss like that or having a loss in general reminds you, how important those things are throughout the season, especially as you get later and later into the season, because those are the teams that, kind of blossom to the top, is the ones that are able to do the little things right consistently over and over and over again. So those are the things, just being reminding yourself that, you may have a big player, do all these things throughout the course of the season, but, it's the little things that propel those good teams to where people want to be at the end of the season.
Key component this Sunday, taking care of the football. The Seahawks have had 9 turnovers in their last 4 games. Coach Pete Carroll says you got to take better care of the football.
That's a really good question, because I'm always taxed with that. How can we emphasize it better? I've been doing this for 20-something years of emphasizing Turnover Thursday, and making sure that we're on it, which probably the most, the most important part of that is taking care of the ball, and not giving it away, to control those that emphasis. But I'm looking, I'm always looking and trying to draw different aspects of it and examples and our presentations that we give and the focus that we bring to it, the competition that we have in it, we all the way up to the end of Thursday to the last play, we're battling to see who wins the day in terms of the ball. So, but I'm always searching, and that search won't end.
Seahawks and the Commanders. I, for one, can hardly wait. They'll kick off Sunday at 1:25 on Fox. Finally, the Kraken. They continue their road trip. They're trying to bounce back from 2 straight losses. They'll take it on the Avalanche tonight at Ball Arena. I suppose that's in Denver. The puck will drop at 6 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 9th day of November. I could have chosen World Chaos Day. No. It's National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. That kind of sounds kind of good. It's World Freedom Day. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But today is National Quality Control Day. So there's Creed Bratton. He runs quality control here at Soleon Broadcasting, and quality control is important. Nobody likes to buy a piece of equipment or anything, really, goods or services that turn out to be lousy because nobody was paying any attention to the manufacturing of the product. And of course, if you don't have somebody who says this is good enough for us, we're going to put our name on it, it better be good. If you buy something that, I'm brand loyal. I mean, I want to go out and buy like a new television or something like that, and I don't buy a Kosaka Haki or something I've never heard of because my guess is it's going to break down. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily just affect the consumers. If a company puts out a lousy product, it doesn't take very long in today's age for word to get out that the project and the product stinks. So you need somebody professional in quality control like our good friend Creed Bratton. Today is National Quality Control Day today. Somebody should probably tell him. It's 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, well, we're building the big ditch down there in Panama after cultivating a revolution that nobody really wanted. But TR said, hey, I'm going to go check out the big ditch. Of course, at the time, he was the president of the United States, and no president, while in office, had ever left the country. There was actually some talk among legal experts that can the president still be the president and do things and make policy and propose bills while he's not in the country? And Theodore Roosevelt said, I don't care, I'm going anyway. He was gone for 17 days, went to the Panama Canal Zone to find out what was going on down there. He became the first president to leave the country while in office. Now, that happens all the time. You got to remember, before, 1906, when he did this, 117 years ago, travel wasn't exactly the easiest thing in the world anyway. I mean, if the president really wanted to leave the country before then, you're going to either go to Canada or Mexico. A few president-elects had left the country, and former presidents had traveled overseas, but no president had actually left the country while in office until TR did that 117 years ago today. This is the 100th anniversary. It was 100 years ago today when Adolf Hitler, Rudolf Hess, and a bunch of others stood on the table of the beer hall in Munich and said, well, the revolution is broken out. Nobody leave. We're taking over. The brown shirts and the Nazis are taking over. The beer hall putsched 100 years ago today. Why didn't it work out? Well, the German authorities were tipped off that something was going to be up. The word got out that these guys are going to be planning something. Didn't work out very well, of course, but they made a much maligned comeback. About 15 Nazis died in the beer hall push. About 5 or 6 policemen and about 4 or 5 civilians died. They tried, they failed, they would try again. 100 years ago today, the beer hall putsched. 58 years ago today, the lights went out in the northeastern United States, including all of New York City. The Great Blackout of 1965 lasted for 13 hours. 800,000 people were stranded in the subway, but everybody took it in stride. For one thing, it was autumn. We talked about this before. The blackout of 1977 was a disaster. It was in the hottest days of the summertime, and everybody's air conditioning quit. There was widespread looting and fires and thousands of arrests. That was not the case in 1965. In fact, there were only 5 reports of looting at all in New York City while the lights went out. In fact, the police said afterwards the crime rate went way down during the blackout of 1965. And there was always an urban legend that 9 months after the blackout on this date in 65, a bunch of babies were born in the New York City area is simply, well, it's probably not true. It's a great story, but it's not true. The blackout of 65 hits the northeast corridor of the United States 58 years ago today. If you've ever seen the movie War Games, and it's a good movie, I really like it. It came out in 1983. Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy, it's a good movie. It's actually based on a true story that happened on this date, 1979, at NORAD and at the Alternate National Military Command Center in Fort Ritchie, Maryland. all the alarms went off. They were doing, what the hell's going on? And they looked at their computer screens and their satellite models, and they said, holy cow, their system detected a massive missile strike from the Soviets. There are missiles incoming. They looked at the raw data, they looked at the satellites, they checked their radars, and they said, no, actually they're not. Oops. What happened was a technician in NORAD loaded a test tape, but he forgot to switch the system from active to testing. So he loaded the test tape and ran it, but the system was still active instead of moving forgot to push a button. And that little incident back in 1979 inspired the movie War Games, which is a good movie. You should watch it. We mentioned today is Freedom Day. It was a premature announcement. They had been planning this for a while, the government in East Germany, especially in East Berlin, and they went, yeah, we opened up the Berlin Wall and come on in. Yeah. Citizens of East Berlin were freely allowed to travel to West Berlin through the checkpoints. No problems there. That came out of nowhere. It really did. I remember that day back in 1989. And finally, 31 years ago today. How do you do it? They had 16 seasons in Major League Baseball. They had one winning season, and they barely had that. The year before, they had the worst record in all of the American League. And the Seattle Mariners went out on November 9th, 1992, and hired Sweet Lou Piniella to take over as the manager of the Seattle Mariners. Good move, guys. He managed the Mariners for 10 years, won 840 games, 7 winning seasons in his 10 years, 3 American League West championships, and of course he took the Mariners to their first 4 playoff appearances. The lowly Mariners hired Lou Piniella as their manager in this state in 1992. Birthdays. My favorite vice president, I always give this guy, the Sparrow T. Agnew, 39th vice president of the United States, born in the state in 1918. Richard Nixon's Law and Order vice president, who in the meantime was taking kickbacks from various firms while he was the governor of Maryland, and then as the vice president of the United States, criminal conspiracy, bribery, fraud, didn't pay his taxes. And this guy almost became president. Sparrow T. Agnew, my favorite vice president, was born 105 years ago today. And the great Bob Gibson, we lost Bob Gibson 3 years ago at the age of 84, 17 seasons with the Cardinals, 251 wins. And the most amazing statistic at all, his ERA in 1968, 1.123, the lowest ERA in modern baseball history, the legendary Bob Gibson, born in the state in 1935. And yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Still to come, an opinion from my Mad Dog McNaughty, and you are going to get another chance to meet Hunter in Brooklyn and the rest of the people from Stage Kids Washington putting on Andy Jr., which opens tonight at the America Pack. But 2 things we need to get to. First of all, thank you to Alpine Air, our platinum sponsor on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the news, and all kinds of programming here on the NCW Life channel. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. And it is Thursday. Katrina the dog needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Coordinator, and this beautiful girl is Katrina. Katrina is our 6-year-old cattle dog mix. Hi, honey. And she came to us about 3 weeks ago as a stray. Come here. She's very curious and playful. You'd never know that she was 6. She loves stuffed animals and toys and balls. And she's really a polite player with people, hi, and with other dogs. She's just really, really nice, sweet girl. I could definitely see her with a family, with kids. She doesn't jump up on us. She makes great eye contact. She just wants to do what you want to do. And she knows so many tricks too. Whoever her last owners were, they did invest a lot of time and love into her, and it's really apparent. She can sit on command, she lays down, she'll even stay, which is kind of a rare thing for a lot of dogs. And she can spin too. She's a beautiful cattle dog mix. She's really kind of unique. We don't have a lot like her. One of our staff members pointed out to me the other day that she has a little heart-shaped nose, which we all love. Yes, and you're just a really beautiful girl. We don't know how she deals with cats because she's a stray and we never know that. And she loves belly scratches. And she's just so easy. Just a like ready to go, easy family dog. She's really quiet and she's super clean in her kennel. She's just everything you'd want in a good family dog, honestly. If you'd like to meet Katrina, we're open 11 till 6, Thursday through Tuesday. And yeah, we would love for you to come and meet her.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
In today's environment, risk management assessment is a crucial process for your business. Risk assessment will identify, evaluate, and mitigate hazards. Don't let risk impact your business income, reputation, operations, and your overall success. We can give you peace of mind by transferring your business risks to the insurance providers. Call Stacy at August Edge Insurance today to schedule a risk management assessment for your business.
This is the time of year we celebrate family, traditions, and great food. At Abby's, our legendary pizzas are so giant that they feed up to 6 happy family members. When you need a break from cooking, think Abby's, our place or your place. Our family is here for your family. What makes Abby's triple topper so great?
Canadian bacon, pepperoni, ground beef.
With these premium toppings piled to the edge, it's a whole lot of pizza on sale for a very special price. Order your triple topper now at abbys.com.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, you may be asking what this thing is here, okay? Well, what it is, because I keep punching it, it runs the teleprompter, okay? Now, I'm not the president. I'm not anybody else real important. They don't have the teleprompter set up so that it runs at the right speed for me, so I have to keep punching this button to make it stop and go. So if you're wondering what I'm doing with this, that's what I'm doing. And if you're thinking, boy, that McNaughty really isn't all that bright at all, well, you can join the club. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Hey, that's my opinion.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back to the program. Stage Kids Washington is back at it again. You get about 150 kids, you throw them up on stage, and you see what happens. It doesn't work that way. It takes organization, it takes discipline, and it takes talented kids. And we have 2 talented kids who will be starring in Annie Jr., which opens on November 9th. It goes through the 10th. 2 shows on the 10th, 3 shows on the 11th. That means both of these kids are going to be exhausted, and on Sunday the 12th they wrap it up. It's Brooklyn and Hunter. Hunter, introduce yourself. Say hi.
Hi, my name is Hunter, and I have several roles in both casts.
And Brooklyn?
Hi, I'm Brooklyn, and I will be starring as Annie, and yeah.
Cool. You ever been to Brooklyn? You ever been to New York?
No, I haven't. I really want to.
A borough that you haven't been to? Wow.
Yeah. I really want to see a Broadway show.
My parents named me Staten Island when I was born. It didn't work out very good. You guys ready to go? We're here. We're taping. It's technical rehearsal. That's pacing and microphones and lights and where you're supposed to be at any one time. And then you guys are going to be ready to go on the 9th? Are you nervous or you're ready to go?
Nervous and excited. Yeah, just kind of both.
Pretty much both. You're usually like nervous backstage, and then once you get on stage, you're fine.
Yeah, it's usually the first show that gives you the most nerves, and you're just like, oh my gosh, we're going on stage.
But then once the show begins, you kind of remember what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
right?
it just goes by.
So we'll start out with you, Hunter. You have 5 different roles, right?
Yeah.
In the course of about an hour and 10 minutes. Is that about right? About how long is the show?
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Are you up for it? First of all, why 5 roles? And number 2, can you do it?
5 roles because there's not very many boys in Stage Kids, and yeah, I can do it. All my roles are Bundles, New York Mansion Ensemble, Bert Healy, the announcer, and Franklin Roosevelt.
That's pretty good. And you just have to do Annie.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, you're on stage a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on stage like 80% of the show.
Mm-hmm. It's hard because it's going to be hard to get props and stuff like that because I have a big list of props, and costume changes. Those are going to be hard.
Do you like the story of Annie? Did you know anything about it until they decided this is what you're going to be doing?
It's my mom's favorite show. So when we were younger, we learned a lot about it, and we watched a movie and stuff. My mom always wanted to be Annie, so yeah.
By being Annie, you mean she wants to be rich? Do you like your character? Do you like being Annie?
Yes, it's a lot. It took a while to memorize. I think a month ago I finally finished memorizing, but yeah.
Are you naturally optimistic and plucky and can-do kind of person? Because that's the character, essentially.
Yeah.
And smart. You got to be smart. So you're one of 2 Annies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, there's another Annie, because again, they have different casts on different days, which is really the only way to do it. Who's the other Annie?
Lily.
Now, do you guys rehearse together? Do you practice together at all?
No, there's 2 casts, and it depends if you're double cast. Like Hunter is double cast, and Archie is double cast. He's Daddy Warbucks, and but either that, it's just everybody else does their whole thing on certain days. Like cast A has Mondays and cast B has Tuesdays, and then we switch off on Saturdays. But yeah, you're just with a bunch of people and you get to know them.
How long have you been in Stage Kids?
I've been in Stage Kids for 2 years. My first show was Elf.
Were you dragged kicking and screaming by the older people in your family to go do it, or did you say, I want to do Stage Kids?
Well, I did. Matilda was my first show, the district musical, and I loved that, and then we continued it.
Same question for you, buddy. How long have you been in Stage Kids?
About almost 2 years. My first show was Charlotte's Web, and I was Avery.
And did you say, this is what I want to do? I want to be on stage, I want to do this, or were you told to do it?
I used to watch a lot of the shows, and then I finally decided, I was like, that sounds cool, and I want to try that, so.
Do people, do you like doing this? Is there any kind of, once you get going, the nerves kind of go away and you just kind of do it? I'll ask both of you that question. You can go with that first, buddy.
Yeah, it's super fun. Like, once you get on stage, it's like, you don't really see the audience, and you're just kind of doing your lines and making facial expressions, and then towards the end of the show, like during bows, you're like, wow, that was super fun.
Same question, Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's really cool. Stage Kids is like a really cool community, and like everybody is really nice and fun and just like these amazing people, because we all have this like stage ability almost, and everybody kind of knows that, and everybody kind of understands each other, and it's just a really cool community because everybody's just like, you make a lot of new friends doing Stage Kids.
What's harder, singing or acting?
Singing, because usually when you get a like a main part or like just a named person, and they kind of tell you about your character a little more and how they act. And then the ensemble is really cool because you kind of get to make up your own character, and you get to choose how they act.
Same question for you. What's harder, acting or singing?
It really depends on the person, but for me, probably acting, because once you get in the song, you kind of just listen to the music and then sing along with it, just like if you're in the car singing to the music.
Do you want to keep doing this when you get older? I mean, you're just kids now. Do you want to keep doing this as you get into middle school and eventually high school and whatever?
I definitely want to do this.
Same question for you, buddy.
Maybe. I'm not really sure yet. I think I want to go into the military though. So.
Oh, good for you. Yeah. Good for you. I like that. See, folks, we're doing okay. Younger generation, don't have to worry about them at all. It is Annie Jr. It's just like the Broadway musical. It's just more kid-friendly. There's a few plot things that are taken out and stuff like that. Outside of that, it's pretty much the same music. Again, it's November 9th, 2 shows on the 10th, 3 shows on the 11th. What time are you going to go to bed on the 11th, Saturday night, the 11th, buddy?
I don't know, but I have 12 hours at the PAC.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Bring a snack.
Yeah.
Just a quick heads up. One last question, we'll cut you loose, and we have one more interview to go. So it's like 5 minutes before opening night of when your group is on, Annie. What are you doing, like backstage, like right before the curtain raises?
We do Energy Circle, and at the beginning of the show, the Gypsy Robe.
Okay.
And that's like an award that they give to somebody who's been awesome the entire show. And then Energy Circle is just to pump everybody up.
Yeah, which probably isn't too hard thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, break a leg, have fun, guys. All right. Thanks for joining me, and we got more when we come back.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Well, you met Brooklyn, you met Hunter, now you get to meet 2 adults, and I love it when I get to go on stage with a couple of smoking hot babes. Way to go, Dan. Introduce yourself to our television audience.
Hey, I'm Lana Bromley. I'm directing Annie. I've been working with Stage Kids for the last 9 years, and thrilled to be doing this show at the PAC.
I'm Grace Story, and I'm the stage manager for Annie.
And who's kidding who? You probably have more work than this gal, right?
She keeps me in line, for sure.
I don't know about that.
How do you direct kids? I mean, know your line and know where you're supposed to go? Do you call it good?
So much more than that. If that was just it. But, you know, we really expect so much of the kids. They have to think on their feet, and okay, this entrance is blocked because of that big set piece, and your prop is over there, so let's think this through. Where does stuff need to be set beforehand? That's all happening today.
Right.
They're figuring that out today. But really directing, it's keeping it fun, keeping them up, moving, work on music, then take a break, dance, and working on character development. But yes, learning the lines is really important too.
Yeah, and be able to hit the notes. Talk about the casting.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a chance to talk to Brooklyn and Hunter.
Yeah.
They're good. Now, of course, there's
Okay.
2 Annies.
Yes.
So Brooklyn doesn't quite have the load that Hunter does.
Right.
But talk about the whole casting process when you decided to put together who's going to play what role.
Yeah.
Because these are the 2
It's
most
a long-
important roles are kind of the 2 roles that they'll be playing and their counterparts. Talk about that.
Yeah, how do we do it? We have these incredibly talented kids, and it's very challenging because there's so many kids that can do so much. And a lot of it is kind of all the right things at the right time, whether it's their vocal range, it's their dance ability. If you know, we tell kids this maybe wasn't the right show for that role, but look at all this other great stuff you're doing. You've got 5 roles, and you're helping with all the scene changes. What else do we do? Plus, we have kids who request certain casts.
Sure.
Based on.
A lot of them choose to be with their friends over being a lead, which is always fun to see.
We give them that option in their application, in their audition form. Would you take a lead over being with a friend, or otherwise put 3 friends here that you'd like to be with?
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things about doing this show, Annie Jr., is that there are a number of scenes where there's a lot of people on stage. So if the kid is in the show, he's going to be in the show. And that's got to make things a little easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, our orphan ensemble's on several times, our New York and Mansion ensemble's on several times, so every kid is on stage a lot.
Yeah, they get a lot of stage time. And what I love is when these kids come up, do you need someone to move this thing in the scene or bring on the Christmas tree? I want to do it. So I think they're eager to be on stage, and those who are more nervous, by the time we roll into the theater, they're ready.
Well, let's talk about that. It's not just being on stage. There's an entire family, a brigade of people behind the stage. Without it doesn't work. You got to have your light people and your sound people. And, and the kids get to learn some of that too. The things that you don't get to see, right? They get to see what it's like to work with pros like Mike and those kind of guys.
Yes, this is the dream team here at the PAC, and today is the day where they will see everything come together. And we tell the kids, tech is about tech. It's not about you.
Yes.
And you're going to learn so much today.
Yeah, they're with us every step. We really don't do a lot without them. Even at Loden yesterday, we had a lot of kids moving sets and props and setting it up, so they see everything.
Yep.
Why Annie Jr.? Why, I mean, there's any number of why that?
Well, it's one of those classic shows that pretty much everyone's familiar with. Michelle McCormick, executive director, she and I went to different schools over the past couple of weeks, schools that are coming to our field trip show, doing some pre-engagement activities, and a lot of the kids didn't know Annie, but as soon as I played Hard Knock Life, they knew the song.
Sure.
And this was actually our very first spotlight show we did in 2014 at Riverside Playhouse. So we just decided, what's a nostalgic show we could bring back? And we're going on 10 years now, so.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, and I'm very familiar with the Tony Award-winning musical. This is Annie Jr., so it's kind of, kitted out
Pared
a little
down.
bit.
You take that one.
So what's the most significant difference?
It's shorter, so we run, the whole show's an hour and a half with intermission. So we've cut some of the scenes, and then we also changed some of the lines and cut some of the details just to make it more family friendly for kids of all ages. So
yeah, just a shorter version. Easier for this age group to learn in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 weeks, but this process has been going on a lot longer than 10 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our process.
Oh, yeah. Auditions were the last week of summer. Rehearsals began the week after Labor Day, and every week, I mean, the kids rehearse only once or twice per week for about 10 weeks.
Well, they got to go to school. They have other things.
I know. Yeah, I guess so. Some of them get to skip school this week for one day because of their show.
November 9th, 2 shows on the 10th, 3 shows on the 11th, and they wrap it up on Sunday the 12th. When you bring all the kids in for their field trip show, which is on
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, are you wanting to plant that seed for the kids out there who don't even know what Stage Kids Washington is? They're going to go home to mom and dad and say, "That was cool. Sure beats algebra. Can I join?"
I don't know if it's so much of a plug for Stage Kids. That's not our goal. It's really to bring kids into the theater.
Yeah.
You know, there's a program here, Every Kid at the PAC, bringing kids into the theater, kids who have never been in a venue like this, and how engaging it is, don't you think, for them to watch kids on stage? That's really the point of it.
Yeah, and Stage Kids has another goal of just bringing theater to any child who wants to participate, and some of them don't know it's an option or can't see themselves doing it until they come and they see our kids doing it, and it encourages them to grow in their confidence and to come and try a class or a summer camp or a show with us.
It's amazing how the kids blossom and change. I mean, you see kids that are like wallflowers. Yeah. You put them on makeup and you put a lav mic on them and put them on stage with lights, and they just
blow your mind.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular. We love them. We get chills in the booth watching the show every night. You just have goosebumps with how special they are.
That must be rewarding for you guys to do this, and all the
so
parents.
Rewarding.
Really
so rewarding. Yes.
In fact, let's close out with that. It's not just you two. It's a whole bunch of people who put this together. Anybody specific you want to thank outside of the pros here at the PAC?
Yeah.
Really make it. But I mean, in your organization, there must be some people there.
Well, just for Annie specific, Lana's the director. I'm the stage manager. Kelsey Eberth is the assistant stage manager. Lexi Forsyth choreographed it. Mayaka Bryant vocal directed it. Laura Lebo was the assistant vocal director, and Whitney Clifton was the assistant choreographer. And then our whole team at Stage Kids, the office manager, Michelle McCormick, Lacey Price, Kirsten White, Kylie Erickson, Deborah.
And all of our parents and
all
grandparents.
And volunteers. We could not do it
Thousands of
without
hours.
them.
Yeah,
we really couldn't.
They're the heart
and
of
who's
it.
getting paid? Nobody. Buy your tickets, folks. Again, they got one show on the 9th, they got 2 shows on the 10th, 3 shows on Saturday the 11th, and they wrap it up on Sunday the 12th. Break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Andy Jr. Tickets are on the Numerica Performing Arts Center website. And we'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Tickets are on sale now for the Numerica Festival of Trees, a Christmas to remember, presented by Numerica Credit Union. The 5-day festival is held November 15th through 19th, has ticketed and free events for the whole family. Hurry, get tickets today for this swanky soiree on November 17th or 18th, presented by Confluence Health. Guests are encouraged to dress up and place bids on their favorite songs as professional dueling pianists play on center stage. Or if it's Tannenbaum trees you're looking for, the Tannenbaum auction on Sunday, November 19th, presented by Confluence Health and Blackburn Financial, is a casual, family-friendly event. Guests of all ages are invited to wander through the array of artificially designed 4 to 10-foot trees. Make it a heartwarming celebration of the holiday season for everyone to cherish. The Festival of Trees is the largest fundraiser for the Numerica PAC. Get tickets at numericapac.org/FOT today.
All right, before we get to the weather forecast, let's do the drawing for Winning Wednesday. If you watched yesterday's show, you know that we're giving away a pair of really good seats to see Mannheim Steamrollers' Christmas celebration, their concert at the Town Toyota Center on Sunday, November 26th. A lot of people wanted to win these seats because they're really good. I mean, really good. Well, if you signed up via email for Winning Wednesday, let's go ahead and do it. This is like one of the biggest entries we've ever had. And so here we go. If you signed up, and the winner, oops, I got to turn it around. Here we go. And the winner is Kurdsnad Klonsnuffen. It's an interesting, oh, I'm sorry, upside down. Don. Don, I will be sending you an email. Congratulations, bud. Enjoy the show. We're going to do it again, by the way, next Wednesday. More tickets for Mannheim Steamroller and their Christmas concert. Going to be windy on Saturday. Heads up on that. These are your peak wind gusts on Saturday. Not sustained winds, but it is going to be very breezy on Saturday. Probably not real windy during the parade itself. The winds will be mostly Saturday afternoon, but it's going to be howling all over our viewing area. Lots of clouds today, a high of 44. It's a lot cooler than yesterday. We had 55 on Wednesday. 35 with some light rain overnight tonight and some snow in the Cascades, especially Stevens Pass. We do it all over again Friday. Clouds, but dry during the day, and then rain Friday night into Saturday, and maybe a little rain on the Veterans Day Parade. And that is it for us. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Gowns, and masquerades. That's me, Elizabeth, and today I'm in Italy with my friend, Mayana Walsh. We'll explore Venice's famous costumes and cafes in Piazza San Marco.
It was actually the first place that coffee was introduced in Europe after it was brought over from Turkey.
And make some amazing discoveries.
Check that out.
Isn't that crazy? We'll get creative with our masks by day.
We get to make some art, we get to paint it.
Awesome.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Before getting all dressed up to go dancing by night.
It's us.
And the ball is about to begin. So please,
come on, follow us.
Before catching the performances at a real masquerade ball.
This has to be the most extreme, exclusive, and over-the-top ball I've ever seen.
It's the most celebrated festival in Italy, and you're coming with us to join the crowd.
We've just experienced a gondola traffic